Welcome to the Clemson Dubcast. It is Wednesday, August 13th. Clemson football is 2 weeks in, actually more than 2 weeks into August camp. Taking today off, like fully off, for the first day in a while. They've had totally off, legitimately off. But they get cranked right back up Thursday morning with a stadium scrimmage, the second of two preseason games, as Dabo Swinney calls them. And we, as always, at TigerIllustrated.com, going to have plenty of nuggets and insight going into that, leading out of that. We are now proud members of the On3 Network and could not be more excited. If you're not a member, now is the time to join. For $1, you also get a full year of access to The Athletic. That is hard to beat. So this podcast has been going since August of 2018, more than 770,000 downloads of more than 340 episodes. And my great friends, Blake Smith and Brooke Archenhold at Parham Smith Archenhold Law Firm, have been a part of it for every single one. They are longtime Clemson people, and they give you the experience and the results you need. Their team can help with personal injury and medical malpractice cases. They currently serve North Carolina and South Carolina with offices in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Charleston. If you or your family has been injured, I want you to help you get the compensation you deserve. Schedule a free consultation by calling 864-301-8767 or by going to parhamlaw.com. That's PARHAMlaw.com. As president of Harris Home in Anderson, South Carolina, Scott Junkins knows all about foundations and how to cover them beautifully. His client list includes Clemson University, BMW, and Greenville's Floor Field, along with thousands of homes and businesses throughout the area. Harris Home was previously Harris Flooring, but the next logical step was to expand beyond flooring and manage complete interior renovations. Scott has assembled an expert team that completely manages every step of any redesign project, from ideas to finishing touches with both residential and commercial projects. Open the door to more by going to discoverharris.com or by calling 864-225-8631. Solero Commerce, formerly known as Tandem Payment, is a full-service integrated electronic payments provider powered by leading-edge technology. Solero provides a wide array of merchant solutions, simplified payments. They make onboarding, taking payments, maintaining risk management and compliance, and getting support quick and easy. At Solero, they're all about helping you achieve sustainable growth as a business. Taking payments isn't the only thing your business needs. With Solero's solutions, you can manage inventory, sell products and services via social media, schedule staff, track sales, get reports, and much, much more. Find out more about Solero at solerocommerce.com. That's CELERO commerce.com. Okay, we're rolling out some of these recent assistant coach interviews from Clemson's football staff, the uncut audio. We recently had Tom Allen and Ben Boulware. Now we get to see what all the fuss is about regarding this offense that is supposed to be lights out. We got Garrett Rowley, the OC, and Tyler Grisham, the receivers coach, who has a star-studded unit. Here we go.
Yeah, it is. What are some early returns that you're hearing about Ian Shefflin, and how exciting is it for you, that project for him at tight end?
I'm excited to be around him. We haven't been able to do much with him this summer. I'm just trying to hear from the other guys what they think about him and all that, but sounds like he's picking some things up and know he can be an asset, so I'm excited to have a guy like that for sure.
What is it about his skill set, his mentality that translates well to football?
I just think the way he played basketball, right? Kind of a gritty, obviously he's big, he's huge for our sport. Saw some of his high school tape and things that he did in high school, so some things aren't going to be totally foreign to him or new to him. I'm excited to kind of really see it with my own eyes.
Playing football at this level is hard. What's realistic for Ian Shefflin? Is it realistic that he can be impactful?
Oh, yeah, I think for sure. There's a handful of guys I can think about right now in the last 5-10 years or so that have kind of had a similar story. He played basketball and went and played football for a year and, caught balls or sacked the quarterback or whatever it is. Playing tight end, defensive end is what you typically see them play. So I think, how much, a lot of it's just going to be what he can handle, and what makes sense for us, because we got a lot of other good players around him. So that'll be the fun part for us as coaches.
Where can this offense go with a 4-year quarterback?
I think the sky's the limit. That's what we're preaching to our guys is I just think there's so much more there, for him, for us offensively, and for our team. There's just so much there, and there's still so much room for growth. So that's what's exciting. So that's what these guys are chasing. They're chasing that.
Coach, with some time removed from last season, what have you seen as like maybe the strength of that offense last year, and where did you see that? Okay, we can maybe grow in this area this year.
I mean, every team's different. I know we're returning a lot of guys, but you got some new pieces and some critical places where there's some opportunity for some different people. So, it's always a different team, even though you're returning a bunch of faces that have played a lot of snaps together. But I think at different parts of the season, there were some different strengths a year ago. And so I think now kind of understanding what our identity is a little bit earlier, figuring out some of these new pieces, like I mentioned, with the opportunity that they're going to have, I think that's going to be the critical thing to kind of identify early.
Coach, you mentioned there's still being a lot there from last year to this year. What have you learned as a coordinator on how you can unlock those new potentials year after year to kind of take that offense to the next step?
I just think it's for us as coaches, I think it's always, again, trying to identify, like, what do we do really, really well? Who are your players? Who are your playmakers? What do we do really well? Maybe what are our deficiencies, that you can hopefully strengthen or stay away from and not put yourself in a bind. So I think those are things that you probably pick up on a little bit more on as you do this and as you play call and all those things.
History says freshman running backs can have some success. What are you seeing from Gideon, and what can he do for this team this year?
Yeah, those guys, big opportunity in that room. From what I've seen with Gideon in the spring, I thought he had a really, really good spring. I think it's a freshman that's learning everything from a mental standpoint of handling what we require from that position. But skill set wise, his demeanor, his presence, I think I've said this before, like, he's just a kid that's not really fazed by much. I think you can really coach him, and I think he really listens and wants to learn, wants to be really, really good. So he's got a lot of the intangibles on top of his skill set that we love, but the intangible part was what sticks out to me thinking about his spring.
Coach, everybody knows the level of production that you have coming back at wide receiver this season. But guys like Tyler, Brown, and Cole Turner, guys who have battled injuries, but have shown glimpses of greatness. What can we expect to them to contribute this season?
Yeah, that's how we want this room. We want a deep room where you can rotate guys. It's a long season. And, that's my background. That's what I came from offensively. Just what I got brought up in is you have 6-8 guys that play a lot, and you rotate them a lot. And what that does is it allows you to be fresh more throughout the game, so that you're strong in the fourth quarter when it really counts to finish. And then from a big picture standpoint of being fresh as much as you can throughout the season. And so that's what we have a chance to do with that group. And that's definitely my expectation with that group. So excited about all those guys. I think it could be a really deep room, where we can have depth that we truly trust, and a bunch of dependable guys that can win some one-on-one matchups or be in the right spots, make plays. So that's the expectation from that room for sure.
Coach Rob, this wide-out room.
What's that?
How would you describe this wide-out room? That's my main concern.
That's a great question. Obviously, I think we got some explosive people. I think we've got good variety. Like, I think we got a mixture in that room. We don't just have the same guy over and over again. So I like that about our room. So yeah, I think it's explosive. I think it's a hungry room. I think it's a room that has matured a lot. Just since my time here at Clemson. I think it's a very mature room, and I think our leadership in that room is probably as good as it's been, definitely since I've been here.
And on that note, how helpful is it to have a guy like Antonio Williams back another year?
Yeah, he's a stud. I think his growth, his maturity, his development. Obviously he's had a good skill set all along, but this guy's gotten better and better and better. And that's a testament to Clemson and how we pride ourselves in development, but it's a huge testament to him and his individual work. So I'm super proud of him and couldn't be more excited for Antonio.
Coach Robert, heading into the season, you're setting goals for the team, especially on the offensive side. How granular are you getting? Like, we need to average this many points per game, X number of yards in the passing game.
None of that. None of it.
What goals are you setting?
Yeah, we have things from explosives to completing the ball at a high rate, not necessarily yardage and touchdowns and all this stuff that, if we take care of kind of the more important things, when you really break it down, those things will take care of themselves, right? So not bogging our players down with just so much information and stats and just all this stuff that really doesn't matter to kids. That's what I think we do well here, and that's what we're preaching to our guys.
How much does your relationship with Cade off the field, just about Cade the human, help with your relationship?
I think it's huge. I mean, obviously that dynamic and that relationship is one of the more dynamic relationships in sports, I would say. And so, yeah, I mean, we have a great relationship. I think just the trust level and being comfortable when I have to get after them or correct them, critique them, coach them. I mean, all those things, I just think it helps build the trust factor. And so anyway, I think we got a strong relationship, and I think he's at a point where he kind of knows what I'm about to say before I even say it, right? I mean, that's kind of where we're at now.
Talk about his growth from his sophomore year to his junior year. Pretty significant. How much more room is there to keep taking strides? Are they giant strides now, or are they just smaller?
No, I mean, I think there's still a big area of growth. I really do. And I think he knows that. And again, that's what we're all chasing. That's what he's chasing. And, I just think the sky's the limit for that kid. I really do. And so I think there's a lot of room for improvement for sure.
Coach, can you talk about the balance of rushing and passing and Cade's ability to do both successfully?
I mean, yeah, that's the X factor, right? I mean, when you have an element like that a quarterback can have +1 runs or just create on his own or zone read or whatever it is, that's a significant problem for defenses, and it's going to help you throughout the season. So, I mean, he's a guy that made a big jump from year 1 to year 2 just with the run game part and what we asked him to do. And I think physically, as he's matured and gotten better as well, that's been a big contributing factor to that. So, I think he's in a much better spot physically, even just as I see him around now, than he was a year ago. And as he should be, he's a year older, he's used to it, putting on weight and strength and all those things are going to help him.
Do those expectations for him in the run game vary year to year based on personnel, or is it kind of set standard year after year?
I mean, some of it is always going to come back to personnel and kind of what you have and what you need. But I think the big picture is, hey, we need this guy to be healthy and start for us every game, right? So, I mean, there's a fine line of your quarterback taking a bunch of hits if you're asking him to run the ball. So you got to be mindful of that. So you got to pick your spots and utilize him the best way you can, but also keep in mind the big picture. You got to keep this guy healthy for the length of the season.
You talked about the jump from year 1 to year 2. Can you talk about that from TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco Jr., what you're expecting from them, how they're looking so far?
Yeah, I mean, I know they had great years as true freshmen, but I just think it'll be night and day different for them. I think physically they're already in a much better place than they were a year ago, and they would say the same thing. I mean, that's not even close. And I think, too, just the muscle memory of what we do and not having to think and just now going and playing and reacting more consistently for those guys is going to be a big jump for them. And then I just think from a technical standpoint, those guys know what they had to get better at, what we asked them to do, and so, they're trying to master their craft as well. So I think all those things combined, I just think it's going to be night and day different for them.
You've talked about the goals that you have and don't have, but 44% on third downs last year and 60% in red zone touchdowns. Is there a percentage sweet spot where things are working as intended?
Oh, yeah. I mean, us as coaches have all these stats and goals and things that we can emphasize with our guys. So, I mean, there's certainly some situational things that we know you got to always strive to be better at. But just in general, like his question earlier, I mean, we don't bog them down with just a bunch of stat stuff.
With CD in the spring, he was challenged to make a big jump, and it seemed like he made significant strides. Where did you see the biggest improvement for him?
I think this spring, I think just really seeing it start to slow down for him. It was probably the first time I really felt like it was really starting to slow down from a communication standpoint to what he's supposed to be looking at from reads and then just simply executing the play. To me, I know that's kind of a big picture deal, but like this was probably the first time that I really saw that. And so expect that to take another big step here in fall camp and as we get into the season. But, I certainly saw that this spring with him.
Takeaways from Tristan Smith the first string, at least from the spring game, his poise was what kind of jumps out with him.
He is. He's a poised kid. He's not rattled. He's not fazed by much. If he is, he doesn't show it very well, or he doesn't show it. And I think he's just a kid that wants to be great. He's put in a ton of work this summer. So I'm excited about him and his development. But, yeah, I mean, he's some of the intangible things is definitely what you love about Chris Dempsey. All right. Good to go?
Ross
all right.
You sit here for your whole time.
Okay.
So good for now.
I can at least sip my coffee now.
So I mean, Hank, some people are just working station to
moving
station.
around.
Yeah.
Coach, what do you think is the most interesting thing you've learned about Cade as you guys have continued to grow together and share music and stuff like that on the podcast I've noticed, but it's something that people might not know about him that you've gotten to know that you think is pretty cool?
That's a great question. We go back and forth with music quite a bit. We got the Texas roots, kind of got that connection with the Texas country scene, but it's gone to more kind of rock, kind of this whole Australian bro jam rock stuff is going on. So we go back and forth with that. He's got an interest in golf. Obviously being in this part of the country, there's some unbelievable golf, and he's kind of got the golf bug, or did this spring and summer playing a little bit. So that's been fun to kind of talk to him about and different opportunities there. But yeah, I mean, we always talk about food and barbecue and Mexican food from back home and all that stuff. So just a lot of commonality, I guess, with some things outside of football for sure.
You see him doing stuff like during the winter, sledding down the hill, and, fun stuff to let off some steam and relax a little bit. What are some of the conversations that you have with talents and all these expectations, big time quarterback with still a college kid, and have some fun with it?
You got to be yourself and be a kid and enjoy this time. It's not going to last forever, as he knows. And, I think that's what's great about him and his personality is he is who he is. And he's got a lot of conviction and himself and things that he enjoys, his family, spending time with others. That's something that I think he does a really good job of, and it's important to him. So, yeah, I think that work-life balance and all of that is important for a college kid, especially at this caliber, and I think he does a great job of that.
Last year we knew that he was spending a lot more time off the field with his linemen, building those relationships, hanging out with the guys. Is there anything that he's done this year leadership-wise to take that even next step, or where have you seen him throw it?
No, I'm sure he has. I just think it's more natural to him. I think that's always the interesting thing to see when you have a starting quarterback that's new is, sometimes those quarterbacks have to feel like they need some credibility before they can really do some of these things with their teammates. And so that's always an interesting dynamic when you're starting out. And so now he's just at a place, I think, where it's more natural and really gets around others and not just offensive guys, getting around defensive players and, just really trying to bring everybody together as good as he can.
Has it kind of helped you a little bit? It used to be in Clemson too. You guys being able to share stories and stuff. Has it helped you as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Really just everybody here. But yeah, I think just from us coming from a different state and moving, basically somewhat halfway across the country, to come here he's opened my eyes to a few things, to different opportunities here that I really didn't know about. That's been great. So, yeah, he's been a great resource that way for sure.
And you can share stories about Terry Black's barbecue.
That's a great one for sure. But there's been great barbecue out here. I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed trying different things and getting around, trying different spots. So it's been fun. It's been fun for our family.
What do you see from a guy like Tyler Brown? Kind of a similar story to what Antonio Williams did his sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, did he rebound? Amazing junior year. Can Tyler be in that same role?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Tyler's he's a playmaker, right? I mean, this guy is just kind of has that instinct and that spark about him where he can just create and make things happen. So excited about him. He's healthy and playing fast. Thought he had a really, really, really good spring, that was consistent. It wasn't a deal where I felt like he was kind of up and down and really good one day and just okay the other. Like, I thought he was very, very consistent, and I just think his whole approach has been, about what Antonio's was the year before, like you mentioned, and I'm sure, obviously, Tyler saw that. He saw how Antonio had to work and what it meant for him to not play and be out and be injured, and it's tough. And, so I'm sure that was a little bit of an eye-opening thing for Tyler as he saw that from afar with Antonio.
You have guys who come in like Bryant Wesco with big expectations, and for the most part, they live in these shoes. How do you make sure they keep getting better? Because there's a lot of room for growth. They did have some places last year where they looked the part.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we're going to push these guys and we're going to keep them humble. That's for sure. I mean, I think that's something our staff and Coach Swinney does really, really well, and challenging and motivating and keeping it real with them. And I think that's what we stress with those guys. There's a ton of room for improvement and things that they can be a lot more valuable for our team, and so I think those guys are attacking it the right way.
This season, my third-year starter, when you're obviously picking out logs, this offense too. Just taking this
stuff. He's got experience, right? Getting you in and out of maybe some good plays or bad plays a little bit more often. I think creating some things when maybe it's not there, that we saw in flashes with Cade last year, of really just creating and making some unbelievable plays that were probably broken, So I just think those things probably tend to happen a little bit more with guys that know what we're about, know what we're doing, totally confident and comfortable and our philosophy and the way we attack. And so I just think that's what we're looking for this year, to see our offense, elevated, and that's what our guys are chasing.
What did you learn from last year? You go on the road and open against an elite defense and an elite football team, and another elite football team that year. The offense struggled with that game. What did you learn in that game that could help you in this year's opener? Just kind of the learning curve, but at the same time, you got to be ready to go right away.
Oh yeah, I mean, game ones are always tricky a little bit. It's game one. It's figuring out the other team, especially nowadays with portal and rosters change so much. So there's some of that stuff. So I mean, game ones are always a little tricky. Offensively, you're trying to get in a rhythm and get going and all that stuff. So certainly some things we learned from that. I think the biggest thing that our guys probably learned from that a year ago was you got to take it to them, and you can't just kind of sit there and wait for it to happen. And I think we just had a little too much of that for sure in a game one. And I think we changed that pretty quickly as we went into game 2, game 3, and got going with our season a year ago. So I think they learned the lesson pretty quickly and applied it. And now us knowing that and having that experience from last year that we can draw off of, I mean, that's what you're hoping to see and our guys to understand as you go into a game one this season, no matter who you play.
This time last year, you kind of knew what you had in Phil Maffa. I'm just kind of curious what your vision is for the running game this year. We're coming on and kind of having 6 guys that are looking for playing time.
Yeah, I mean, huge opportunity for that room, for a number of guys. And so, fall camp's going to be a big part of this. We kind of know what we have coming out of spring and kind of where guys are at. And I think, like I said, this will be a huge opportunity, these next couple of weeks as we go into the beginning of our season. But I'm excited. I think we've got versatile people in the room. I think we've got a mixture. I think we have a variety of guys that can do some different things. So it's just going to be a little bit of who kind of takes it over and who really performs, when the lights are on. And it's always going to come back to performance. But I like where we're at right now. I really do. I think we got some explosive people. But we got to get the consistency and all of that where it needs to be in this fall camp. So huge opportunity for that room.
As a guy that likes to throw the ball, 2 years ago, obviously, you didn't really know who was going to play receiver every weekend. Now you've got maybe 5 of the best wide receivers in the country on the field at once. How nice is that to have that as a luxury 2 years later?
That's what I know, and that's certainly what we've been striving to get to here in this last couple of years. So especially when you have guys that have played, and there's the trust factor and the trust level with the quarterback, that chemistry is a real thing, and that trust is a real thing, and dependability, and so those guys are going to continue to get better and better. They really are. I fully expect that, but I think just having that camaraderie, having that chemistry and dependability with quarterback to receiver and that relationship, I think is such a huge thing.
I know you like recruiting your guy, obviously, from the beginning at quarterback, but getting Chris Denson kind of flipping complete, what have you seen maybe throughout the spring and since then that kind of gives you hope for what he can be in the future?
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of development that he needs, but this guy's different, he's electric. He can certainly do some things when he takes off and runs or creates. But, the best thing about Chris, I was answering their question earlier, is his intangibles. The guy is poised. The guy wants to be great. He wants to learn. So I think he's made of the right stuff. He's just going to have to keep chipping away at his development. But there's certainly already been some flashes of this guy's got something to him.
What's a challenge to get new running backs to get faith in the line, knowing that the linemen are going to make their block? What do you have to do, or what do the coaches have to do to work those running backs more into it and make them have that faith, the confidence to know their linemen got it?
It's meetings and it's the way you practice. At the end of the day, they have to do their job. You know what I'm saying? And if they're doing their job at a high rate, if their eyes are where they need to be, if they're pressing and making the cuts that they need to make, holding on to the football, just all the things that they can control, that's going to help build trust between them and the offensive line relationship like you're asking. So I think the first thing is they got to make sure they're doing their job. And that's what we got to coach hard and those guys to understand. But I think they have a lot of confidence in what we have up front and the experience we have and some of the young guys that are going to help us and create depth this year. I think there's a lot of confidence in that relationship from running back to offensive line. No, he's a mature guy. He knows what we need to focus on. He knows what's important, as far as being where your feet are and giving everything you have with what you're doing that day and that moment and what we're chasing this season. And as we all know, a lot of that stuff's going to take care of itself. So, I think that's what he does really well. I think that's a strength of his. But we do have some general talks here and there of just big picture stuff, but nothing where I'm having to bring him in every week and have to address some stuff like this.
Listen up, Clemson Tiger fans. Founders Federal Credit Union has a new office right on campus in the Hendricks Center. We're here to serve you with the financial tools you need and the personalized service you deserve. Not on campus, Founders has an office conveniently located on Old Greenville Highway. Stop by or visit foundersfcu.com to learn more and apply for a membership. Relax, you're with Founders. Federally insured by NCUA. Membership qualification required. Blackacre Law in Greenville is the closing representation you can depend on. Getting to the closing is a major milestone for anyone involved in a real estate purchase. This is the time when you're entering the home stretch of the process. The documents you sign and the check you hand over mean that you're on the verge of officially buying your new home. The last thing you want is for something unexpected to occur and put at risk all the work you've done to get to that point. That's where reliable real estate law firms such as Blackacre, a subsidiary of Parham Smith Archenhold, comes in. Take no no chances when it comes to your new home. Call Blackacre today for a consultation, 864-775-5400.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I keep on seeing him getting interviewed. I mean, like he does such a great job, right? His personality is phenomenal. His energy is infectious. I mean, he's a fun guy to be around. He showed up, and it was almost like he knew everybody for years. You know, people kind of flocked to him with his personality. He's very thankful for his opportunity here, right? And it's incredible. He can give his JUCO experience, coming out of LaGrange, just his background. He's overcome a whole lot. And so through his football journey, he can share, okay, y'all, Clemson's special. Clemson's unique. You don't understand how good you have it. So, like, he can kind of speak to that, and he has done that. He has done that, which I'm very thankful for as a coach, having that as a resource, right? And so I just love the young man and excited about his future, and we can help him, and he's going to help us. I mean, on and off the field. So on the field, I mean, you saw some of that in the spring game, right? I mean, he's long. He has a really great catch radius. He runs well. It's kind of deceptive because he's got such a long stride. I was just watching the guys from my balcony. They were doing some conditioning, and he's out near the front. He's not one of the fastest guys we have, but he's able to cover a lot of ground with his stride length. So he's got some deceptive speed, but he's got toughness, he's physical. I mean, in the run game, I mean, I'm going to have to really work with him because he's going to get in a little bit of trouble with how he is so violent with his hands. Sometimes plays a little long. You got to not have him get any holding calls, but he's going to try to really compete in the run game on the perimeter. So that's going to be great, and will help kind of set the standard as well for the guys when it comes to that. But yeah, super excited to have him join us this year.
There's so many talented players in one room. Like, what's the plan on trying to get everybody to football?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've done whenever we've had the kind of roster we have now is that, everyone needs to see themselves as a starter. Like, I don't have a first and second string. Like, we don't, and you've heard Coach Swinney say it before, like, we don't say first, second, third, right? We have orange, purple pride. Like, and so, and you can say that's first, second, third, but we try to really have the guys understand that, especially in my room, it's like, man, look, we're going to roll, and even in practice, whenever we have the orange up, well, I'm going to have orange and purple rolling in and servicing each other, right? With the first group, like there's no first group. I've got guys I trust in and believe in, and so you're going to earn your opportunities. You're going to earn your reps, right? It's still an honor to run out there first, right? It is, but man, I really want to roll and have fresh bodies on the field at all times, and guys making plays, and so I think that's the easy way to do it. It's just to roll your guys, and they're going to earn that. So.
How much fun is it for you to have those options like that?
Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, it definitely, you can lay your head down at night and have some peace, and thankful to have the room we have, and the guys have worked hard to get to where we are, and so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. A little less stressful, that's for sure. But man, it's a joy to coach these guys, and they make my job easy. I mean, I told them that this last season. Man, they really do. They make my job easy, and it's a joy to coach them.
Guys in and out. How difficult is it balancing maybe everyone get that fair share of this season out because the way the game may go and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, some people you have the hot hand, right? And somebody, you may be having a bad day, right? And so I think that's the thing is that, for me, it's you're going to have to earn it. I mean, Antonio Williams, apparently, I hate we can't be with him in the summer, but from what I've heard, you wouldn't know he had the year he just had based on his work ethic this summer, his leadership. And so I love hearing that because, man, he's going to set the standard for our guys, and, he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to earn it, right? If he doesn't perform, all right, the next guy's going to have to step in. And everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows that. And so it's you're going to earn your opportunities, right? Like, make it hard for me to keep you off the field, right?
How would you describe Wesco's physical development over the last year?
Yeah, it's been incredible to see. You could just look at him and see pretty quickly that he's put on good weight, right? Over 20 pounds. But it's funny because he got faster, it seemed to me. That's my main concern. I told him whenever I recruit my guys, it's like, listen, I'm not going to be a stickler on your weight. Like, the game is still speed and productivity at this position, and I don't want you to just put on weight to put on weight. You're plenty big enough, right? But through Coach Batson and the rest of our crew in the strength and conditioning program, man, they've done a phenomenal job. I mean, Alex Bina in the recovery, right? Megan with the nutrition, Dalton, our chef. Like, it's a team, and it really is. It's incredible to see the guys that maybe, he ran track. He was a triple jumper, right? He never really got to train and be a football player in high school, and now he can. Same thing's going to happen with Juju Preston. I mean, he's a thin guy right now, but, man, I can't wait for him to just really dive in head first, and have access to all this stuff. And so with Wesco, you could quickly see, like, he had a 50-50 ball against Avion, and he was able to play stronger, hold his line better than ever, and go up and make a phenomenal play in one of the practices, probably one of the best plays of spring. But he probably wouldn't have done that last year. And so I think he's going to be able to use his body better this season, play behind his hands, using his hands more. I think before he probably maybe try to use more of his speed and get less physical. I think he can play with a little bit more physicality this season. So definitely excited to see that.
Along with his physical development, what does it do for all of those younger guys to have just a full season under their belt, and what does that do for their confidence going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys believe, right? I mean, we played on some of the biggest stages last year. They feel like they can play with anybody, right? I mean, and so it's one thing to have success in practice, right? I mean, we had a really great fall camp, right? And then game one didn't quite perform the way we were anticipating. But then we came back and, man, we had a great run, right? And I think the guys just tasting that success, knowing they had it in them, but you have to go do it in the game, right? And so they've done it. They've done it. We've got a lot of returning production, and so they're confident. They know they can do it, and they expect to do it, and they're going to put the work in to replicate and then even surpass what we did last year, right? And then taking it one day at a time, though, right? So
you got on campus a little bit later than some of the other guys, but was there a moment when you kind of felt like TJ Moore really hit that switch late last season?
Yeah, I was on him hard in fall camp, and he was reminding me of that recently in some of our conversations. But it was good. I mean, he made so many plays, but as a younger guy, and again arriving in the second session of summer school, he was a little behind with the playbook, right, trying to learn it. And so it was just so hard to keep him off the field. It was like, okay, he may, and this is early on, his first weeks and whatnot, he might have a missed assignment. He's going to have one or two, but, man, he's going to make a big play, right? And so it was like, man, we got to really get him up to speed. And so, I give credit to Cole Stout and Drew Swinney, and, man, we all met with him, individually, right? And thank God for the rule change and letting our staff coach and having more freedom for those guys to help out. It was awesome. I mean, and so I think he really kind of accelerated his learning, really was committed to that, became a better note taker. That was big for him, and become more of a student of the game, But, man, he did that. But, man, he made plays early where we were like, this guy's a shot. And it took a little bit, right, a few games in for us to really feel more confident and kind of, lengthening that leash a little bit. And then he proved that he could handle it and made some big plays for us.
Coach, everybody knows what you have coming back in terms of level of production at wide receiver. And we had Tristan Smith on top of that. But guys like Tyler Brown, Cole Turner, a couple guys that have battled injuries but have shown glimpses of greatness. What can we expect for them to contribute to this run?
Yeah, I mean, both those guys are healthy. That's going to be big for them, right? It's just being able to be available. And they're doing all they can, right? And, man, we have multiple conversations, and some of it's outside your control. But, man, they've really bought in more. I mean, especially Tyler, we had the guys over. We were shooting some clay a couple of days ago, all the guys together, and he just looks great. I mean, I feel like he's put on some good weight, a little bit thicker up top, asking some of the guys like, okay, hey, give me your rankings, of the wideouts right now this summer, and he's up there, and that's what I expected. But he's up there with who you'd expect. I mean, he's really performed well, and I think he's hungry, right? It's kind of like some have forgotten about him a little bit, right? I mean, and so I think he's ready to kind of get back and reintroduce himself, right? And then Cole, man, I'm so excited for him because I just really, my hope is that he takes that next step. And it was funny, we called him Big Play Cole, man. Like, he'd step in and he'd make a huge play for us, right? A big shot touchdown, right? I mean, and big plays in some games to help us get the lead or whatever it was. And so he can do that. I just want to see him, one, stay healthy, and then also that confidence level increase. That improved. I think he knows he belongs. He's a starter for us. And so this is going to be a big fall camp for him to not just maintain, but, man, like, let's improve this fall camp, be extremely healthy heading into week one, and just see what happens. I mean, like I said, he's one of those guys that's going to roll like a starter and let him make those plays for us.
What's it been like having a guy like Coach Galloway around?
Man, it's been really fun. Coach Swinney let me know that I think he's wanted to be at Clemson for a while, and man, our relationship has been incredible. He's been very humble and gracious and very willing just to help. We've got all his drill tape stuff, and so it's fun to be like, you kind of hold your secrets a little bit as a wideout coach, right? You share, you meet with other coaches, but then, especially in conference, you're going to play those guys but now he's here. He's one of us, right? He's wearing that Paul, right? So it's like, it's been fun. So he's looked at my drill tape. We've talked through things early on. I've looked through his, and we've shared ideas. He's in the back of my meeting room every meeting. He's in my meeting room, and he's taking notes, right? And I give him free reign. Like, he's able to step in, he's not, and he's told me, he's like, listen, I'm not stepping on your toes, but I'm like, man, listen, I need to learn from you. You've been doing this for quite a while, all right? You're elite. And so on the field, man, I have him helping out. I'll let him and Drew, and Cole and I will kind of work. We'll split the guys up, and he's got half the guys. We'll rotate, like, just trying to use him, and the guys have taken to him. So he's already made us better. And I'm excited about him joining us and helping us out more this fall.
Coach Grisham, as always, the beard looks great, man.
Yeah. My wife would like for me to shave it off, man. I can't do it. Can't do it yet. No, that's right.
All right. How much, in terms of the quarterback and wide receiver relationship, are you guys reiterating, hey, Kate, you need to be working with the wide receivers on your own versus these guys just do it themselves and you see them doing it?
Yeah, I don't have to. I mean, it's happening all the time. I mean, it's been really cool. I think the segment meetings, like they're meeting right together, and then they're going out to the field and working. So the player-led practices, they're meeting beforehand, right? They're making sure they're all on the same page. I mean, and that began a couple years ago. But it's funny. It's like every year, heading into last year, I heard a lot like, "Oh, this is the best it's ever been." This year, it's almost like this is just what we do. And that's been cool. It's just kind of like this is the standard, and there's no other option, So there's been less like talk about it. It's just kind of like this is status quo, so to speak. So.
Talk a little bit about the LSU defense and what you guys.
They're elite. They're elite. Yeah, I've dove in quite a bit already and trying to get a good feel for those corners. Stamps, Mansour are really talented, man. Mansour, man, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, forgive me if I'm not, but number 4 for them is he reminds me a little bit of AV. Very talented, can support the run game. Stamps can do the same. They'll bring him on cap blitzes. I mean, so I'm watching them already and feel good about kind of what I'm seeing and learning them. But we have our work cut out for us. I mean, they're really, really talented at every level. And so look forward to diving in more and delivering what we need to our guys so they're prepared and excited for the challenge.
How much did performing offense did really good in Texas. Defense is secondary. Confidence in the development that you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we felt good going in. Our plan was phenomenal. And, yeah, I mean, I think the guys at that point in the season had already performed well and were confident. So, yeah, I mean, but to produce like we did, and there's a couple plays that were left out there for sure. I know Wesco still kicking himself about a couple of plays he had, a couple drops he wants back. But, yeah, I mean, it was exciting. You know, it was exciting for them, but it was expected. You know, we felt good going in. Yeah. Yeah, I need to look at the recent weight charts. He's probably, let's see here, I would say pushing 190. I mean, just under that, maybe 187. It's a guy like him. It varies quite a bit, but I would say he's in that 187 to 190 range.
TJ came in physically developed.
Yeah.
What did you want to see out of this past offseason? Sort of physically.
Physically, seeing him improve physically, you're saying? Yeah, I think for him, he carries his weight well. I want to see him develop a little bit more up top. I think one thing about our strength and conditioning program that I've really talked with him about is that really does translate to the field. And I think his force production is something that I've really tried to hone in with him, and getting in and out of his breaks. Sometimes he needs to put a little more force on the ground, right? And so I think that comes back to the weight room, right, and single leg work and plyometrics, right, with Coach Greenlee and D Love and one of our new strength and conditioning staff members, Bruno, has really been great too, and so. That's a couple of things that come to mind, and so he's been really working at that. And so Coach Galloway and I both just, working with him after practice, before practice, really working on his teaching the 3-step break. It's that first step that is crucial. I call it my punch step. You got to punch the ground, like you should hear it, and so that's something he's working on to really help himself get into that break and out of it more cleanly. So yeah. First two things that come to mind there.
How has it been coaching and establishing a relationship with a new guy like Tristan Smith as compared to someone who was traditionally recruited like Bryant Wesco, TJ Moore, and all the other guys that were sent?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, early on having him over, I had him over with some of the younger guys initially because he was new. But I was saying earlier that it's almost like he's been here for years already. He's already well connected with the guys. He's really, really close to TJ and some of the other guys he's really close with, and so a great teammate. He's made it easy. I mean, he's very open. I mean, we've had some phenomenal conversations one-on-one, and I think that's what it takes, right? It's just connecting, sharing about life, right, and being able to kind of hear his story and be able to share, like, okay, you know what? Like, we may have some differences in a number of areas, but yet. We share a lot of commonalities with family, with some struggles, right? So connecting on that level has been good, but he makes it easy, man. He's such a likable guy, and has fit in well with the room, and is already, leading well. So,
what's it like to have somebody like him that can go high point ball now?
Yeah. I mean, he's got great length, and that's one of his. It's going to be one of his calling cards, right? Is just making those plays, like throwing it up to him, giving him a chance. And he's just going to get better too. I mean, there's some things that I know. I mean, you watch the spring game, you see some big plays, and yet, watching the tape, man, there's a lot that he's got to improve at, right? And he knows that. And so, man, we're really going to work super hard with him and holding his line, playing a little faster off the line of scrimmage, playing behind his pads, being 6'5". You're tall, right? So being able to play with length, playing behind your hands, behind your shoulder pads, is something he's had to work at. And so he's done a great job. He's worked with numerous trainers. He's gone with our current roster, some of his teammates, going to different places and working. and developing some of my relationships with trainers around the country. And so, I'm excited about him and his continued development. And then, continue to make those plays for us.
What receiver does he remind you of, like past Clemson receivers he maybe remind you of?
That's a tough one. I can't he's just different.
Yeah.
He's different. I don't want to throw any names out. I mean, he's just he's it's the first time I've coached a guy with this much height. He's his own person, man. He has his strength. He has his areas that he's got to improve at, so we'll let his game do the talking, and then y'all can make that decision.
From that documentary that Clemson put out about spring practice and everything, there were some kids who just getting fired up. What are those things in practice or going into the season that make you so excited to see?
Yeah, I mean, my body's been beat down this summer. I'm trying to stay healthy. It's hamstring. I tried to race a prospect during the OV and popped my hamstring. I played golf the other day. My back shot. I mean, it's just like I got to get my body back right. But man, I love to move around. I love to play. I love to be active. But man, it's just this is a hard profession in many ways, but it's so rewarding. And like, man, you better love what you do. You better love being out on the field and being with your guys, right? Like that's when you're really with your guys is on the field. And so, what I'm able to provide, like they're going to receive, and that goes with my energy. That goes with how I'm communicating. Like it matters so much, right? And I've learned that from Coach Swinney. Like how you present every day is important, and being consistent with that is crucial. And so, man, but again, they make it easy. They're fun to coach. You got great athletes that make plays for you. Like, it's a blast, right? And so I just want them to know that I'm there for them. I'm going to give them all I have. I'm going to try as hard as I can to coach every little thing, right? Coach them hard, correct them, right? Not overcoach them, give them some freedom. Praise them, man, when things go well. Like have fun, and celebrate it. Because I mean, it's a tough position, man. Everybody can see when you're making a play or when you don't, right? You can kind of get hidden a little bit in that box sometimes. But man, but having the mentality to go make plays and be confident, be dominant, and have fun doing it. I mean, it's exciting, And for me, it's like I gotta remember, the childlike fun of this game. Even as a coach. So, I look forward to getting back out there with him.
What kind of things do you say to a receiving core that you have, which is so much depth and attack? What kind of things, what kind of message do you really try to bring to these guys to get them ready for LSU?
Yeah, I mean, it's you stand on your work, right? I mean, it doesn't matter who we play. It really doesn't. Like if we're preparing to our standard, right? And we always say, man, like we're playing Clemson. Don't lose to Clemson, right? And that's real. I mean, and it don't matter. Whoever we play game 1, game 15, whatever it is, like it doesn't matter, And so for me, it's just the confidence is going to come from the work put in when nobody's watching. So it's as simple as that, really. I mean, it just you're confident from the preparation, and you just go stand on that, man. Practice is the way you practice is the way you play. I mean, and so we're going to have one heck of a fall camp. It's going to be challenging, right? We're going to be put through the fire, and my hope is, man, on the other side of it, man, that dross is gone. Like we're more pure, right? We're better athletes, we're better people, so that we can then, attack the season.
It's over here.
This receiving room is being talked about as one of the best in the country, and rightfully so. How are your guys, handling those expectations?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be part of our messaging early on. I mean, they see it, right? I mean, whether they want to or not, they see it. Part of the unfortunate side of social media and just the access they have is that you got to be careful, right? Reading your own press clippings, right? And so we'll acknowledge it, and we're not going to run from what people are saying, but we're also not going to hang our hat on what's being said, right? Whether it's me or them, like, hey, we can say all we want. You have to go do it. And so it's going to be about work. And I think the thing I'm excited about is we do have a mature group of guys. That was my question. I mean, Adam Randall's now running back. He's a great leader. I lost some great walk-on players that were great leaders. And so that was one of my main question marks I had. And kind of going into winter conditioning, I was able to see, okay, we've got some maturity. Some of those younger guys have matured, right? Antonio, Tyler, Cole have been around. Tristan, he's new here, but he is mature. He's been playing college ball, right? And so I think we'll be just fine with managing expectations and going and putting the work in and then just go play to the best of our ability, right? Put it on tape.
You mentioned Adam Randall, and I know he's not in your room anymore, but what do you think he's going to do at the running back position?
Yeah, I think he's going to be phenomenal. I mean, he's such a talent with the ball in his hands, right? And Coach Spiller has done great already with accelerating his learning curve, and he's super smart, knows football. I mean, I'm so excited for him to get a chance at a position I think could really be special for him with his frame, the way he carries the rock. I'm excited for him. I want the world for Adam Randall. I mean, one of my favorite people, one of my early offers as a young receivers coach was to him. I've known him. I coached him in summer camp when he was a youth. I coached him on the little Derby Meadows fields before he was in high school. So I've known him and his family for a long time, and I want it for him. So, all right, guys, thank you all.
All right, we're going to have a couple more of these here in the next couple of days. You always learn something new when you listen to the full sit-down from these guys who sit down for about a half hour with the media. Those receivers have looked outstanding so far during camp, have gotten nothing but rave reviews on them. Appreciate the support of our sponsors for continuing to help make this happen. And, of course, thanks to every one of you for continuing to listen. Cheers.